The Tier 7 American premium tank destroyer known as the Super Hellcat sounds pretty cool in name, but in theory it's just kinda like the Super Pershing, extremely underwhelming to play. Sure, it has a lot of DPM, it's got 2764, and it's got a lot of mobility, going 65 kilometers per hour, but the Hellcat, the Tier 6 tech tree vehicle, also has a lot of DPM at 2500. The Hellcat also has a better power-to-weight ratio and the same top speed. It also has more gun depression by 1 degree, which is still a little bit of an advantage, and it's got the same penetration on the premium ammunition, but it's a tier lower. And not to mention, Tier 6s have a special equipment, which I can show you right now, where on the Hellcat, if I go to my Vitality slot, I can either have minus 10% damage from high explosive shells from a caliber larger than 130 millimeters, or defense system, which means minus 10% chance of penetration by shells larger than a 130 with HE. Guess what tier doesn't get that? Oh yeah, Tier 7, you don't get that at all. So the Super Hellcat is less resistant to high explosive shells, and it's basically worse in every way to the normal Hellcat. And then we come over to this vehicle, the T25-2. Now, in certain regards, the Super Hellcat does have some advantages. It is faster. This tank has a power-to-weight ratio of 18.6 and a top speed of 56. It's not the 65, but to be fair, 56 is still more than plenty when you're trying to accelerate. But everything else is better. I mean, when you sacrifice a bit of that mobility, you do have actual armor, 76 millimeters on the hull frontally, 51 on the sides, and 38 on the rear. Just to put in your idea, the rear of the T25-2 is the same, actually more frontal thickness than the Super Hellcat. The rear of the turret of the T25-2 is about the same frontal thickness as the Super Hellcat. That's pretty lame. This vehicle will actually quite reasonably bounce HE shells, or not bounce, but not be penned, unless it's maybe a smasher or a 150 of some sorts. That's not the case for the Super Hellcat. As well, the gun has an extra 200 more DPM at 2900. Its dispersion and aiming time are the exact same, except you have more penetration on the standard and premium, plus 10 degrees of gun depression instead of the 9 on the Super Hellcat. So basically, a free tech tree version of a premium is better, which makes you wonder why you want to buy it. However, there is a reverse ulterior motive here that I do want to talk about. A lot of people complain when Wargaming makes premiums that are better than tech trees, but I mean, you can't really blame them, can you? Because at the same time, nobody's buying the Super Hellcat because it's kind of worse than the Hellcat, and it's kind of worse than the T25-2 tier for tier. So why would you spend money on something that you can just get on the tech tree? As much as I hate to admit it, Wargaming really wouldn't make much money if they made their premiums worse or even to their tech trees, because nobody would want to buy them. You'd just buy the free version, and then you'd be like, well, I don't need the paid version. So I do understand to at least a certain extent why Wargaming makes certain tanks better than their tech tree counterparts, but I also find it kind of annoying that they make them so much better, like the Smasher or the Annihilator, which don't have tech tree counterparts. They're just better in general. So here we go. In our first battle, we've got a T49 with the stock gun. Obviously, that guy is not gaming very well. His gamer chair is not great. So with that, we've tapped 2 shells into his vehicle and taken 452 hit points off. This battle here was played on mobile. The second game you're going to watch was played on my PC a couple hours later. I was a little busy, so I had to stop playing on mobile. But I've been practicing on mobile because I'm playing Winter Season with Cease right now. So I've been having to practice on mobile. That's why I drove into that wall there a bit. So it's been a bit of a learning curve to get used to what I used to main. But either way, it's going pretty good so far. We've dealt 645 damage, but I can tell you what isn't going well so far is my team. Sure, we are getting some pretty nice shots out. There you go, nice max roll into that Panther, and with that we're at 926 damage. Unfortunately, yeah, my STA's AFK, my 44 is dead, and my Super Hellcat, speaking of the devil, YOLO'd in and died, which means we're basically down 3 vehicles. So while that's going on, well, I guess I'm going to go over here and see if I can finish off maybe the O or the KV-3. So there's one nice tap into the KV, and we're going to put on our Adrenaline. There's another nice tap into the KV. I mean, with Adrenaline, I have a 3.9 second reload. It's actually pretty insane. There you go. Nice shot into the T49. Reloading again. Easy shot into the M3 Yo. And I would have loved to have tracked that guy again, but unfortunately, we just actually shot underneath his vehicle and ricocheted off of his engine deck. But hey, we're already at 1,800 damage. We were just sitting at 900, and we've doubled that to 1,800. Pretty impressive. Nice shot into the ISU, but... well, it's an ISU. He got me back and brought me down to 28 hit points. That is one of the issues with tank destroyers, is they suffer a lot in hit points. If you're in a tier 7 medium, let's say like the Panther, you have 1,300. This vehicle has 300 less. That's a big disadvantage. I mean, that's a huge amount of hit points. It's 300. That's 1.5 shots from this vehicle. So even if you might not have as much DPM as the T25-2 and you are a tier 7 or tier 8 medium, you just have more hit points to brawl with it. So that kind of sucks. But either way, here we go. There's the ISU. I was expecting this guy to, you know, like turn to shoot me, but I guess not. Guess I'll just get 2 shells into his vehicle and... ooh, 3 shells into his vehicle, and yeah, I don't know what to say about this ISU. I mean, he got that 1 shell into me, but I guess it was just a fluke, because the next couple of shells were quite easy. All we have left is the Chimera and the IS-5, and I'm going to show you where the power to weight's actually pretty good on this vehicle, because we're going to drive this tank right over this cliff. It's pretty hard to do sometimes if you're not fast enough, but over the hill we go. And there you have it. I did manage to climb the hill. So there's 1 nice shot into the IS-5. Gonna put on my adrenaline. There's 2 nice shots into the IS-5. Obviously, because I am running rammer, it still has enough pen because of that 190. I mean, I could run Cali and have like over 200, but I don't need it. I mean, clearly in tier 7, you don't need that much penetration, unless you get unlucky like me and your shell kind of flies behind the enemy. Either way, we did okay. We did 3,388 damage in this game, and that's a pretty decent chunk, especially because I'm trying to learn my bearings on mobile again. When we make our way to the second battle, this is where things really get nasty. This is on Mayan Ruins. It's actually less time than the last battle we watched, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. But ho ho mama, you are going to watch a farm and a half happen in this game. So what does the enemy team have? Well, medium-wise, they got an M4FL10, they got a T34-2, and an ISU. Now, why did I say the ISU? Well, you're going to see in a couple moments here. But, yeah, I'm going to use this like a medium. That's how I play this tank. It's basically a medium vehicle. I mean, you have the armor of, I would say the armor of a poorly armored medium tank. You have good gun depression, though, and you fantastic DPM. And AP pen-wise, I mean, this is levels of tier 8 for penetration. Even tier 8 mediums don't usually have 190. It's 175 base for vehicles like the Progetto and, you know, vehicles like the T34-3, for example, on my team. So I'm going to come over here, and we're going to see if I can get a shot maybe into the M4FL10. Hello, can I shoot you? No, I can't. Wow, that guy actually got a pretty nice tap into my vehicle. One thing that's not great about the T25-2 is the roof. You can pen it quite easily. It has very little armor. But I'm trying to get shots into this ISU. Obviously, he's running the stock gun, and now you know why I call the ISU a medium, because he literally pushed to medium side. But this is where the DPM on this tank feels truly amazing. I've already taken 660 hit points off of this ISU. But we're not done. Now it's 917. I mean, that was even without adrenaline. It is truly insane how quickly you can out-DPM your opponents. And now I'm using that mobility to chase down the M4FL10. And as we went over, this is just as fast as any medium tank. So I'm chasing this guy down. There's 1 shot. There's another shot into his vehicle. And sure, you know, this guy is getting some shells into me, but oh no, you're dead. We've dealt 1,800 damage in this game. We've managed to block 560. Good luck doing that in a Super Hellcat. And now we got a bunch of heavies left. I don't even know what they're doing, but the main weirdo was their T34-2. I don't know why the guy went heavy route and why it took the enemies so long to kill literally 1 IS. Oh, okay, never mind. We got a VK camping. Is he pushing the Ag Panther? I don't know. Either way, yeah, teams have not been great in the past week. I didn't even notice that was going on here. This RHM is playing more like a heavy than my actual heavies. But here we go. Nice shot into the T34-2. I don't really care too much about the heavies. I'd much rather shoot the mobile tank like the 34-2. That can be a bit of a threat. So I'm just trying to shoot this guy, aiming at his track. There you go. Another nice tracking shot. Reload again, and another shot into his track, although that one did not hit the front wheel because he was able to repair just at the last second. But I mean, either way, we're already up to 2,700 damage, and now we're up to 29. And there's still 3 enemy tanks left. I mean, this is just where the DPM on this tank feels insane. Sure, you could have done all this in a Super Hellcat, but not as quickly. and definitely you would have been a lot more cautious due to your armor. So, yeah, on movement dispersion-wise, quite bad. You got to make sure you're aiming in your shots. But there you go, one shot into the shark, and I was like, alright, we'll get a shell into his lower plate, or not. I guess I'll keep going. Let's get a nice shot into the side of the tiger, too. Once we're at 3,700 damage now. Oh, that's a bit of a rip shot there, but hey, we're going to try one more. Aiming and fire. Obviously, shooting at the side of a barn is not that hard to do. So we've gotten 2 shells into this tiger, 3 shells into this tiger. Can we get another one out? Reload, reload, fire. Yeah, we just got it out, which means we dealt 4,461 damage in a tier 7 medium-ish tank destroyer. I mean, that's pretty impressive. It's very rare to find unique vehicles that are very strong. But I thought, you know what, since the Super Hellcat's out, and I've never really played too much in the T25 too, why not make a mini review on this vehicle? The last time I've played in this tank was a long time ago. I'm 57% in it. It was many, many years ago. I don't have many battles played in it. I guess I free XP'd past it. Must not have enjoyed it. But, yeah, after Wargaming's buffed it so many times, it definitely feels incredibly powerful, especially with the improved penetration, DPM, and I think it even has a bit better armor. But that is the T25 too. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.